Today I want to share a very realistic hour of street photography with you, filmed while I was in Tokyo. I recorded this video on my third day there, and if you have seen my previous one, you'll know that at the start of the trip I wasn't feeling very confident with my lens, the Fujifilm 16-80mm f4. One of my favorite ways to warm up for a full day of shooting is to head out early in the morning. For this session, I was in Ikebukuro, one of my favorite areas in Tokyo. I know the neighborhood quite well, but I still love wandering through its tiny back streets, getting a bit lost and discovering new corners. In the hour I filmed, I took 173 photos. Out of those, I selected 38 to share with you here, and maybe one or two that I think turned out pretty decent, especially considering it was just a quick 1 hour session. One thing you have to know about a big city like Tokyo is that you have a lot of time to spend by walking in the street if you want to go from point A to point B. It's early morning, it was not really crowded yet, but I was able to see some interesting subjects, like for example the kids that you have just seen. But normally like these streets are quite more busy, like actually very busy during the weekend, that is very difficult to walk with. I discovered then this tiny park that I never seen before. The day after I filmed this video, the trees were actually in bloom of cherry blossom, and it was quite nice. I was walking around looking for some interesting subject to photograph or someone around, but actually it was pretty empty and I was not sure what to get, to be honest. I shot this picture over here. It's like nothing special at all, but I just like the fact that it's like a cute little stuff in the kindergarten. I left the area because there was not much more to shoot around there, and I was walking through a more busy street full of people that I knew that at least there I will get more interesting subjects. Having the 16-80mm at the very beginning made me feel very conscious that I was holding a camera, and also I was conscious that people can see me holding a camera. So I think at the very beginning of my trip that was a little issue for me, because I really wanted to be like hidden and not be seen as a person taking images. So during this first hour I was feeling still a little bit like shy from one side to point the camera properly. I was shooting from the hip and not actually looking through the viewfinder, and I found it more easy to basically be sneaky and not to attract too much attention to myself. This picture of the people walking actually could be shot everywhere in the world, but somehow I really like it. I think it shows how people walk there and how busy normally the streets are, even if this moment was not that busy. But it's something that I guess if you've been in Tokyo really make you think, oh, action, or I'm there and I'm in these massive streets like crossing. Finally, I was in an area full of people, but then I guess I got very conscious about the camera, and I was shooting not much. Also, the people were walking so fast, and I have to set up my camera properly to actually get everyone somehow. And I shot a few pictures over here, but I just selected a few. I think the other one were a little bit too blurry for me or absolutely not interesting. What I wanted to achieve in this case, it was like get the action of the movement and the people walking. One big issue in this city is that people are actually not looking at you, so when they walk they actually go through you, if it doesn't make sense. So I have also to be careful for myself and for them to not step into anyone. So for this reason I really did not shot many pictures. I was more actually thinking where to go next, because I know that if I cross I will go in another area, but was it was not that interesting. So I was pondering what to do next, and I basically decided to walk in a path that I didn't know. But first, I stopped at this shop window, and I found it very interesting, this pattern in the shop window and the reflection between the zebra on the street. I was trying to get also the person inside, but I couldn't, and even if I tried to shot in manual, I couldn't put the focus properly, and at some point the person actually looked at me and the moment was gone. So I took this picture that kind of summarized what I wanted to do. That is okay, nothing special, but just so you get the concept what was going on. So right now I was walking in an area that I didn't know, so it's like that kind of feeling of wondering and like, am I doing the right thing or I'm getting completely lost? And I thought, after looking a little while far away, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get something interesting over here. But in the end, there were some people working, or subject like sitting somewhere. I give it a go and continue my walk to see if something interesting was coming up next. One thing that I forgot was my hood, and I really regretted to forget it, because as you can see, time to time you can see the ray of light coming into the camera, and not in this session but in other picture there are ray of light that in the end they worked, but when I was shooting I was like, I'm not sure that like these rays of light are actually good in the picture, of they're ruining the sensor, for example. One thing that I really like about Tokyo in general, in terms like of subject, is to find people in peculiar places doing weird stuff, and that was, for example, the lady just in the parking lot. I think she was just paying, but I didn't expect all these elements let's say over there. And it's something that happened very often in Tokyo. It is a very different city to photograph compared to London or to New York. In this moment I was approaching these people that, if you're wondering what they were doing, they are cleaning basically the stones over there and the gate. And it's nothing crazy, this image is more like about what was happening, that I like it. And so I decided to keep it to show you. Now I had to decide again what I wanted to do, if I wanted to continue for the path that I was doing, or crossing to go to another area that I didn't know. And I decided to cross. I shoot also this picture that is nothing crazy, to be honest, it's just architecture, but I like the fact that it's like a massive street and big buildings and the freeway, I guess, over there, and just to memory. Then I was in this little street, and finally I think I was proper warm up myself, because it was this guy with his little truck working over there, and I found it very interesting. And I was like, people at work always attract me. And then out of the blue I saw a temple that was something completely unexpected, and I have definitely go to check it out. Meanwhile, I also shoot another architecture picture because why not? It was such an empty street with these straight lines, and yes, I love it always. The picture turned right, okay, nothing crazy. I guess it was more the momentum. And then I saw this temple, that I think is actually a temple and cemetery. I enter a little bit inside, but then I saw people actually going to the cemetery, and I didn't want to be there to disturb them or to cause any issue, because I was not sure if I was actually allowed to shoot picture. So I decided to leave, but I also found these kind of holes in the wall where you can see the cemetery, and I decided to give it a go and shoot a picture. And I think it's okay. I always like framing while I'm doing street photography subject as much as possible, because it really creates a vision of 3D dimension. And then I continue walk around basically the wall of the temple. And while I was walking, I could hear like the sounds, and I think I'm gonna stop talking right now so you can hear it as well. And I think there were monk or some kind of religious activity happening over there. The picture turned out extremely dark because of the f4, and because I didn't want to go too much, I didn't want to put the shutter speed lower, and that's okay. I think I was more, it's not a picture like a crazy picture, it's okay, it's like I could not select it, but it's the fact that reminds me there is chanting of the monk, so I keep it more for memories, let's say in this way. I continue my walk and I saw more people at work. That is also one of my favorite subjects to get. And like Tokyo is always full of people at work doing any type of activities. Also, you can see policemen just checking if people cross the street properly or controlling. I have no idea, but there are everywhere basically. Almost the time that I have to go back to actually start my real day of activities, so I'm starting to heading back to my Airbnb. Again, this area I didn't know what kind of street I was walking, and there was just like the train that you just saw before was just something interesting. The picture is bland, is nothing, but I keep it because it was I think it was a bus museum, something like that. And then Tokyo is a city that basically is developed both in high and underground, so is a busy city that you really have to look everywhere, so your eyes can get tired very easily. And that's why I look quite often up to see if something happening in the windows, and there was this guy basically just cleaning the window. I don't think I get it properly, but I get enough kind of the action. I think he saw me again. Oh, and in this point, it actually is standing ovation for the 80mm, because again, I saw someone very far from me on the other side of the street, and I was able to shoot and to actually get a picture that I like. So that was a very good point to having this lens, the zoom lens with me. And then I started again to shoot with 23mm setting, let's say in this way. is pretty much what happened during the day. I shot a few more pictures that are coming, but I forgot to film because I was going back quickly. At the end of the day, I'm quite happy of what I have achieved for just 1 hour shoot. Let me know in the comment section below if you like any of these pictures or if you would like to see more content like this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you very soon. Ciao ciao!